Hey, so I wanted to do a quick video for you before we close out the topic of PMS. And I wanted to tell you a little personal story about some experience that I had with that. Honestly, my history is that I never really had painful periods or much issue with PMS. However, a couple years ago, I was snowboarding with my brother and I fell pretty darn hard on my butt, as you do when you're snowboarding. I knew when I fell, I was already working with women and doing abdominal work and helping women with fertility and painful periods and things like that. So I already had like a really solid experience with what to look for and what to expect. And I knew when I fell that that was a hard enough fall. Basically, anytime you have any kind of slip or fall injury to the hips or pelvis, tailbone, sacrum, anything like that, it's going to result in probably a displaced uterus. So this was my situation, right? So I slipped, fell on my butt, snowboarding. I don't remember where I was in my cycle, but sometimes that can have an impact on it as well. For the next 4 months, I experienced symptoms that I never had before. I had low back pain, like really bad low back pain, painful cramps. So all the physical symptoms, right, of low back pain, heaviness in my pelvis, all of that. But then I had the emotional symptoms that totally threw me off guard. I would get depressed, I was super irritable, super emotional, and then of course my period would start and I would be like, oh, that's what's going on, and all of my symptoms would go away. That whole experience came from my slip and fall. So we were talking about PMS and how it can be mineral deficiencies or diet and lifestyle. It can also be from a slip and fall like I experienced. I was able to support myself with the abdominal work and other such things, and eventually it did go away, like I said, about 4 months. It can be longer, shorter, depends on what kind of support you have, that kind of thing. But it was quite an experience for me because I didn't have any real premenstrual PMS symptoms before. And then to experience so much of the physical and emotional from a displaced uterus and from having that slip and fall and from direct experience. So it was really quite interesting. And I just wanted to share that with you because it can be from many angles, and that's why it's really nice to work with a practitioner that has different tools in their belt, from understanding nutritional deficiencies and mineral deficiencies, herbal support, but also the body work component too, because oftentimes all those symptoms and reasons for feeling that way are because the organs are slipped out of place and you have a tilted uterus or a displaced uterus, and it's super common, happens all the time, and it can be helped, depends on the severity. Luckily, I knew when I fell that I had to be on my self-care routine and had to get it taken care of right away. So I was lucky enough that I could help myself. But it also just depends on how long the injury and how long before you get treatment, that sort of thing. So just wanted to share that little component on PMS before we move on to another subject. So yeah, this is, if you have any questions, of course, DM me or message me, email me, or anything like that. We do have a yoni, egg, and pelvic steam or vaginal steam class coming up if you're in Orange County and you want to come. All that information's on my website at www.shrivedawellness.com. All right.